Leigh, you're keen to talk about James Sicily and how Sam Mitchell's using him.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, he's a gun player. Like, when he plays defence, he's been a gun player, and when he's gone forward, he's been able to mark the ball. So he's been terrific. But he's kind of neither of those things at the moment. And I just wonder, in his own psyche, when he's not sure, am I going to be playing defence or am I going to be playing forward? Because really, I would have thought he's in a down patch of his own form, both in defence and probably in the forward line. But I mean, it was interesting that when the match was on in the balance, Dangerfield played the role he's going to play, forward role. Don't think you're going to go in the middle to get a kick. You're playing forward half, and I just wonder how it's affecting his psyche, I guess, and his form.
Well,
so
he has won a couple of games going forward, but speaking to you off air, that the accumulation of moving forward and back, and Tom McCartan might be in a similar situation. Eventually, you can't be elite at either if you don't get maximum time at one or the other.
You asked me the question. I'd be settling back in defence for the time being. So he knows I'm playing defence and not sometime during the game they're going to put me forward. When's it going to be? So
you're looking at the scoreboard a little bit, thinking, we're a couple of goals down. I'm going to have to go forward, all that sort of stuff.
Well, Gunson was their best forward, wasn't he? I mean, Chol chipped in with some really good efforts, but Gunson was the key forward down there. So it depends on. I think it depends on more how the forwards are going rather than the position that's.
But is this the long-term problem though for Sam Mitchell?
Well,
because we know that's the challenge. They're key forwards. So Gunson's doing a mighty job for an older key forward, but he's not really a key forward. He's been a hybrid. Obviously, Lewis is not there. Kalshadir's not there, so it's maybe a Chol. Is this the concern for Mitchell? And it just keeps popping up every game. So therefore, Sicily's the one that sort of almost has to pay the price.
Well, that's what happens, and I understand. But it's what it's doing to James Sicily's game, because most people would say he's not in very good touch. I would have thought. Am I correct? That part. Yeah.
Well, there's big MRO fallout from today's game, so we're going to head to the newsroom with John Ralph. Conor Nash, Ralphie, he looks like he's going to be in for a stint on the sidelines.
No doubt, Jack. He is sure to receive a 3-week ban at minimum for the hit that concussed Gryan Miers. So the only issue here is whether Michael Christian elevates it. So he can give him 3 weeks and severe, or he can give him 3+ weeks, go to the tribunal where he would argue his case for, I would think, 4. As you see, the ball is a long way away here, so there is that capacity to elevate it. We'll show you a couple of the comparisons over the last 6 weeks, which show you that he's in strife. So Jack Scrimshaw received a 3-week ban for a hit on Jordan Ridley. Probably, as forceful there. He was also concussed. And then Patrick Voss on Nick Vlauston only last week's. He was not concussed, but it was still 3 weeks. So there is wiggle room there to take it to the tribunal. Vlauston was not concussed, but a broken nose. Leigh Matthews, you're the oracle. What do you think about this incident?
Well, I think 2 things. I mean, it's the same as these ones. He'll get a few weeks. There's no doubt he'll get a few weeks. But the thing that sticks in my mind, this is the exact incident. You only see a handful a year where there should be a send-off rule. Because Geelong have lost Miers, concussed. So they're one man down. And, of course, Nash stays on the field. I just think there has to be a system in place for an incident like this. It's obvious he's reported and he's going to get suspended. But it's an evening up the numbers thing for me. So now you've got Geelong have only got 22 players active, and Hawthorn have still got 23.
Who makes that decision?
Well, I think it's made, and there's got to be a system in place, right? So it's got to be made once you know a player is off with concussion. So it might be 10 minutes after the incident. He's off with concussion. Clearly, whether it's the emergency umpire or, I mean, they're all in communication with each other, the umpires and the ARC. Yeah. So, I mean, surely it can be confirmed that the Geelong player's off with concussion. He's off for the game. The player who's obviously done something suspendable should be off as well. That's my thinking.
Isn't that defeating the purpose of it, though? If a player's done something wrong, well against the rules, that he could still impact the game for his team in maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes until it takes to work out whether that player's concussed or not? Well,
that's the problem. At what point do you do? I mean, I do. For me, it's only when you know the player is concussed, he's off for the rest of the game. That's when the send-off rule would be imposed. But you know, I know it's got its complexities, but this will happen in a grand final one day. And if it happens in a grand final, this exact kind of incident, I bet you the send-off rule will be seriously considered.
Is that a deliberate action, though? Like, that's not a king hit action.
No.
That's a reckless action.
It wasn't. The players, the Geelong players didn't kick up that much because I felt that they thought he might have, just missed the ball. There wasn't repercussions that came from it, and maybe that's gone out of the game a little bit anyway. And Conor Nash was apologetic immediately after, but
it's not intentional.
It's still an act.
But the Geelong lose the player for a concussion from a reportable incident.
We'll find out what Conor Nash gets tomorrow. Ralphie, they're bringing a sigh of relief down at Whitten Oval with their superstar forward.
This is 1 in 100 where the club believes it is an ACL rupture and instead it is something different. Sam Darcy has dodged the worst case scenario. It is an impaction fracture, so effectively ligament damage at the back of the knee and considerable bone damage at the front. Effectively a knee reconstruction without the ACL damage. So potentially 4 or 5 months. Club hopes he gets back earlier than that. So why won't Jamarra Ugle-Hagan replace him? Because he has not shown that he wants to be an AFL football at any time. The Dogs are despairing. They're 6 months on. He barely trains with the club. He hangs with the same friends who are not conducive to an AFL career. He's not really interested in the counsel of the likes of Buddy Franklin or Eddie Betts. This is almost unprecedented in modern football. And so the club's considering all kinds of options. They want a light bulb moment. So is it that they don't pay him for some time or dock some of his pay? Is it an indefinite break from the game? Would that help him or would that hinder him? They're open to all of those discussions because right now the real fear is not that he won't return for the Bulldogs. I think they've given up all hope of that at the end of the year. It's that not a single AFL club out there will be interested by the end of the season, and he could very well be quite quickly lost to AFL football. It is a massive concern, not for the Dogs in terms of trade value, but for Jamarra Ugle-Hagan's AFL future.